Woo! It's goodbye 2024 and hello 2025 here on the Metal Block. Yes, we're going to take a look back at the year of 2024. The best records, in my opinion, because it's my show, so my opinion counts on this show. Of course, your opinion counts as well. If you're listening, if you're watching, drop your comments. And I want to know about, your releases, your favorite albums that came out this year. We had a lot of records come out. I mean, I had to shift through, I think, I must have like 50 or 55 new releases. Check out my mug, man. How cool is that? Yeah. I had a friend make this for me. I'm just kidding. I got it on Amazon for like $10. But yeah, a lot of records this year. I had to shift through about 50 or 55 and narrow down to 20. Had to make some cuts from the last time I did this was back in June. We did the top 10 records so far because when albums come out in the beginning of the year, then I let them build up for about half the year, and then because there's always more stuff coming down towards the end of the year, so I just have to do top 10 of the best albums of that so far because there's usually only about 10 or 15 records released or that I at least know of that I buy at that time. So got my trusty little cat back there. She was on my shoulder there a little bit earlier. She's gonna assist me on this journey with you. And so I did it back in June, and then I had the top 10. So my list has probably changed. I think there's some that's still there's a lot of the records are still on my list. Probably they might have moved up, they might have moved down. Whoever was number one back then, which I can't remember, it might have been Sebastian Bach's album was number one. I should have went back and looked, but so it might have changed. The suspense is killing me. You never know till you get I want to take like a couple seconds here to say, woke up to this, it's 2025, the first day of 2025, and you wake up to the news of some fucking idiot terrorist attack, and some coward ran through a bunch of people in New Orleans down here, and I think at first they said 10 people were killed, now it's up to 15. So my healing energy to all those people out there that are suffering from that, and the victims that are like in the hospital, critical condition. Hopefully they pull through. I know this is something they'll probably never ever heal from. They might heal physically, when they get out of the hospital, but this is going to live with them for a long time. I mean, who the fuck drives a fucking truck through people? And apparently, I guess he's had an ISIS flag, and here we go with the Islamic terrorists again. Didn't this shit happen back in 2016 and then throughout the bombing years too? And for a while we had to worry about the white supremacist people, and now we're back to the Islamic ISIS. I thought Trump got rid of ISIS. He told us he got rid of ISIS, remember? Yeah. Anyway, not to make a joke about anything, but it's just it just sucks to all the people like, I'm gonna ring in the new year. I bet because I think it happened like at 3 a.m. in the morning. So, they're probably out partying all night, having a good time, ringing in the new year. And then for that to happen, and then boom, your life is just gone. That's why I always say that you're never promised tomorrow, but should you get it, you got to rock it. And whatever you do today shapes tomorrow. We don't have the power to change the past. We have the power to change the future by what we do today in the present. So keep that in mind. But let's all right. So we got that, and and another thing too, I'd like to maybe start the show off with before I get to what I'll do like I'll go down from 20 down to 1, but about every 5 records or so we'll take a little break and talk a little bit about things, and because I got some news that's happened throughout the year. I got some highlights from the show that I do here at the Metal Block. I got some highlights I'd like to show you. I got to interview the singer Madam X. Me and my friend Tony. Madam X was a very influential band back in the 80s on this, and big spiked hair. It was a band that Sebastian Bach started singing with after Brett Kaiser left. And so I got to interview him. I got to interview Dee Snider's son, Jesse Snider. He had a cool ass comic book he put out, and got to interview him. So yeah, I'll show a little clip of that. But so I'll do that. You'll start off with the top 20 from down to 1. We'll take some little breaks here and there. But what I'd like to do is start the show because we lost some people this year. Not a lot. I mean, as far as well-known metal icons or metal people. Well, the two main metal icons that we lost, of course, Jack Russell from Great White, and then Paul Di'Anno, Iron Maiden. So I put together like a little metal in memoriam of metal. I can't say that word, in memoriam of metal. And I put it together. I used one of my tracks as the background music so I don't get sued. I could sue myself if I wanted to. But anyway, I did the music for it. So I'm going to play that right now for everyone. You know, this is, like I said, coming off the heels of what happened in New Orleans. And then here we are, death and misery. But anyway, let's remember these people. To all those that died, rest in metal. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have anybody that you know that made an impact on you musically, or anybody even in your own life, you know, it doesn't have to be a rock musician or a metal musician. It could be anybody that you felt really, you know, you felt that loss when you lost them this year or last year. Now I'm going to say last year because it's the first day of 2025. Yes, it's New Year's Day. I'm taping this on. But yeah, so drop in the comments some people you want to give a shout out to as an RIP in memoriam, and definitely I'll definitely give it some love. So yeah, so let's do this. Let's just get right into the top 20. All right, and then like I said, we'll talk about some more stuff as we go along. You know what I'm saying? My number 20 is an album that I was really hoping for it to be really good, because their first album that they put out was really, really good. And this one, I mean, it's good, but there's something about it, the production wise. It's Sunbomb. This is a collaboration between Michael Sweet and Tracy Guns from LA Guns. Michael Sweet from Striper, Tracy Guns from LA Guns. The album is called Light Up the Sky. It hit my number 20. It just came in very last. You know, got it on vinyl here. Nice packaging. You know, they're going to be one of those artists. You know, there's Michael Sweet and Tracy there. You know, they're going to be one of those that always just does like a kind of a boring album cover where it's like, let's just use the same album cover as the last one. Let's just change the colors up and add a few little more effects on it. Nothing wrong with that. But, you know, I mean, there are some good riffs on here, and there are a couple really good songs. There's something about the way the vocals are mixed. I think they're a little bit too kind of up front. And Michael Sweet is a phenomenal singer. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love him, but on here, he seems like he's kind of like, he doesn't pronounce the words certain ways. It's hard to kind of understand what he's singing, like, because I don't know, there's something about his enunciation. I mean, I have the worst enunciation, so I can't be talking, but yeah, it's just there's times where I'm like, what do you say? And I look at the lyrics, like, it doesn't sound nothing like what he said or saying or whatever. But it's a good album. Like I said, I mean, the album before this, I think it was just self-titled. I can't remember what the name of it was. It came out like maybe 3 years ago, and this is way better. But yeah, it's definitely got a lot of Black Sabbath influences, like riff-wise. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with like because some of the riffs are real doomy, and so maybe I think for me, I think maybe Michael Sweet's voice doesn't really fit too well over the doom style metal vocals. So yeah, just my opinion. Number 19. You guys are probably gonna hate me for this because I'm sure a lot of you, team Mick Mars, your team, and I am too, no matter what. This album came out earlier in the year. The thing is, like, he released, I think, 3 or 4 singles before it even came out in 2023. And so by the time the record came out, it was like we already heard most of the songs, and then the rest of the songs were good. I just feel like I wanted to really, really like it. It's just an album I'm just not finding myself going to jam all the time. Is like when I first heard it, I liked it. It just wasn't like, oh, I got to go listen to Mick Mars. I got it on vinyl, and I also got it on CD as well. Yeah, it just wasn't like a record that I would, it's not like a go-to. Like, oh, I feel like in the mood to jam some Mick Mars. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some good songs on here. It's a little dated sound. It sounds like it's about 10 years too late, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, sometimes you can get away with kind of sounding retro or, the nostalgic or whatever. I don't know. There's a fine line between sounding dated or sounding nostalgic. Like a band, like a younger band or early band that can capture that 80s feel, but it just sounds natural to them. But then there's bands that will kind of put out a record, and I don't think they're trying to go for an 80s feel, but they just can't help it but be stuck in that. So, or 90s feel or whatever decade that we're talking about. And I think that's what kind of does this. I feel like Mick Mars kind of didn't intend it to sound like it should be from the early 2000s or mid 2000s, but it just happened to be that way. But apparently this record's been in the works for like 10 years or so. Like it was sitting on the shelf for a long time, and then he finally got it out. So that could explain it. Plus some of the vocal mix, Jacob Bunyan's a singer, and on most of it, I think there's another guy who sings some other songs. I feel like he's good, but he sounds kind of run of the mill. Sounds like that, Miles Kennedy, like that kind of voice. Like you're kind of tired of that same kind of voice on dudes, It's like whenever it came out and sounded like Eddie Vedder, or everyone came out and sounded like the guy from Coldplay, and then now you got everyone sounding like Miles Kennedy, like most of these rock singers. It's like just okay, run of the mill. I've heard that before. And but he's good, and there's a special effect they put on his voice on certain songs. It just, to me, just kind of doesn't sound that good because it sounds like they're trying to be industrial when it's not industrial. You still with me? I got my cool shades on. I got my freaking Baphomet cup. I got Iron Maiden in the background. I got my posters. I got my posters up. That's my guitar back there. My Adrian Smith Jackson 10. Yeah. Also got some cool toys I'll show you guys later that came out this year, But let's see, what do I got? Number what is number? Oh. The warning. This is number 18. Mick Mars was 19. I know a lot of Warning fans are going to be disappointed because I did, a lot of reviews on these guys. I ended up getting like a lot of views. So every time I review one of their videos or something, and I do rave on this band because they're so talented. These 3 women from Mexico, they're the 3 sisters, and they started out as little kids playing Metallica covers, and they got really big on that. Now they put out their own music, but their album Errors to me is, I think, their best album. I was really expecting something out of this, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit too polished. It's a little bit too commercial, way too kind of industry sound, like almost sound like they kind of were coached on how to write certain songs as it will fit the algorithms of the internet and all. It's like you got to play like this, and whereas like on Errors, they were real experimental with different time changes and just different melodies. Like their melodies were very unique. I mean, they got some good stuff on here melody wise. I mean, overall, it's a good record. It's just I was gonna hope that it would be like way higher up on my list. I tried to get it up. At one point it was at 20, but then Mick Mars kind of knocked it out into 19. And oh yeah, Sunbomb knocked it out, and then Mick Mars, but or knocked it up or whatever. No, not knocked it up. Knocked. That sounds kind of right, Tamara? Yeah, I know I made a sex joke. Anyway, so my beef with this album, and I said this before, what they did, I think they need to really talk to their management about this. I know it's a typical thing now. Bands release 2 or 3 singles months before the album comes out, maybe even a year before the album comes out. And then by the time we get the record, it's like, but what they did was they released 7 singles before the actual, they even released 1 single the day before the album was going to come out. They released 1 more single, as if we even needed 1 more single. There's 12 songs on the record. They released 7. So by the time you got the record, you only had 5 songs that you had never heard yet. If you're a Warning fan and you want new music, you're going to start listening to the new music as soon as they pop it out. So they popped out their first single in February 2023. Then throughout around the fall and winter time of 2023, they were just pumping out singles like left and right. I think they released 3 or 4 singles after that, and then sometime, I forgot what month this album came out. It might have been March or something like that. But yeah, up until March, they released like about 7 singles, and it's just like, you know, and I listen to them, whatever. I try not to listen to, like, I only listen to the first 3, but the other like a more than once. But I tried to like not listen to the others as much. But I can imagine like a Warning fan how disappointed it would be, because a lot of them probably put it in their playlist, so they're probably playing like these 5 or these 7 songs like in a row that they're listening to a full album. Then by the time the record comes out, there's like nothing left for them because they already heard all those songs. I mean, the first 3 songs are the songs that were singles, so you have to skip through that just to get to one song that you haven't heard. And yeah, so it's just very bad marketing, I think, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I guess they're the experts. They know what they're doing, these algorithm people or whatever. But I think because the music is, like I said, is decent, but bands, please just stop releasing thousands of fucking singles before the album comes out. Just give us some kind of element of surprise. You know what I mean? I know you're anxious and you want people to hear what you're doing and everything. You know, we want people to hear us. We want people to hear us and like us. Well, you got to make a choice. Are you going to just put out singles, or are you going to put out a record? If you're going to put out a record, just give us a couple teasers and that's it. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Another good number 17. That was number 18. You know, the Warning. Number 17. There's a band I haven't listened to in a long time. And then when they came out, let me see. Oh shoot. Bear with me. No, I got it on the CD, so I had to. Anyway, can you see that? Can you see that? It's banging on CD. Disintegrate Together, Vain. How many of you remember Vain? Glam band from the 80s, late 80s, actually. My band Will O Wisp almost opened up for Vain when they very first kind of they were going to come to Merced, California, before we moved to LA, and we were going to open up for them, and then the show got canceled. But we were like all excited because we're like, well, a band from the, you know, big, that's kind of from LA or the Bay Area. They're from the Bay Area, but you know, we were excited that we we're going to be able to open up for a band like them that had some notoriety. You know, we thought, oh, we made it. Anyway, so their album, No Respect, whatever, I think that's the name of the album, but that might be one of their biggest hits in the 80s. Was, you know, really good record. And this one, it's a good record, man, but it's just so under the radar. A lot of people don't know about it because David Vain chose to release it just on CD only. I don't know, there might be vinyl, but and you can only get it on his website. You can't stream it. I heard they're supposed to eventually make it streamable, but yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that as far as marketing strategy goes, but I do got a clip that we can play from Vain. Let me see here. Let's play a little bit. He's very melodic. I kind of think like because he sounded like that on that first album that they put out back in the late 80s, and I almost kind of think that he started emo because his music was kind of very emo, like emo before emo. Just that that kind of highish voice, like a My Chemical's Romance style voice, which came out after them. and then just very melodic, you know, very simple keys signature that he sings in. Davey Vane, you know, what's interesting about Vane was back in the day, like, you know, he was, you know, he's a glam dude and everything and a glam band, but he was responsible for producing like a lot of demos for like the Bay Area thrash bands, like I think Exodus and other bands that were from the Bay Area. He would, like, you know, I think Dark Angel, maybe Violence, that band Violence. I'd have to see, you know, if you go on his Wikipedia, I think he has a list of his production credits or whatever. But yeah, he would just produce demos for these bands, and he was really good at it. So then he put out his own records, and it's kind of glam. It's not, you know, which is a trip, right? So yeah, and then we're gonna. What was Vane? What was Vane number 17? We're gonna write down the middle, that right down here, and then here's a band. Let me see. I want to make sure I get the right thing here. Yeah. Okay. This band here, I just got into them. They're my number 16. All right. I just discovered them this year. Unto others. And I didn't realize they're from Portland, Oregon, where I'm at. You know, I'm in Portland, Oregon right now, and I just found out recently that I thought I was at Judas Priest. We're going to talk about the concerts I went to for the year too. Probably after I get done with number 15. But yeah, number 16 is Unto Others, Never Neverland. This is a really good record. If you like melodic, kind of 69 Eyes, a little bit of Danzig. Not really Danzig, but I could say a little bit of Misfits in there. There's some Misfits influences. I would say kind of goth, but I saw an interview with him where he's like saying we're not a goth band, but they got sort of some goth kind of feel to them. Let me play a little clip from these guys, and I'll show you what I mean. This song is about, let's see, this song is called Suicide Today, and it's actually kind of an uplifting song. I think what he's trying to say is that, you know, he's trying to take the power away from feeling suicidal by, you know, relating to like how you would feel if you're feeling that way. Anyway, it's just a really good song. Here you go. Yeah, very kind of like he's got an interesting voice. That kind of reminds me a little bit like Joey Ramone, kind of like just that straightforward, you know, like the way his tone is, you know, like he's not going crazy high, crazy low. He's just staying kind of like right there, you know, right there in that pitch, and just keeping everything kind of simple but effective in the same way. So yeah, very, very cool band. Like, and I was about to say, because I went and saw Judas Priest, and I thought I saw him out in the lobby talking to somebody. I was like, wait, that looks like that guy from Two Others, you know, and I just sort of got into them around that time. And you know, discovered that they've been around for a while. And to myself, I was thinking, oh, I wonder if he's, you know, what if they're touring, or maybe they're playing in Portland or something. Maybe that's why I saw them. But then I look them up on Wikipedia, and it actually says that they're from Portland, Oregon. So yeah. So maybe I'll reach out and try to get them on the show eventually. Try to get the singer on. I know he does like a lot of. I see him do a lot of interviews on YouTube. He seems like a cool guy to talk to about music and everything. So yeah. So on Two Others, if you're watching this, you're low on my list. Only not low, but like you're not up there because I just discovered you. I'm just now getting into the record. So you know, I'm pretty sure had I gotten to you a little bit earlier, this would have been higher up there. But it's definitely a great record. Get out there and get Unto Others if you want something new and you like that kind of sound. If you like that kind of gothy kind of, you know, rock, you know, 69 Eyes, you know, sound or whatever. I'll show you the album cover again. It's Unto Others, Never Neverland, which is a lyric in Enter Sandman, of course, which I don't know if that's where they took that from, but okay. So what is my number 15 before we go on to a topic here? Number 15 is another band I kind of discovered a couple of years ago, which I always liked. It just kind of took me a little while to get one of their records and get it totally into them. This is Lucifer. All right, Lucifer. Got the vinyl here. It's kind of a weird vinyl because it kind of opens up like that. Like, you know, it's like that. But then the actual cover is like kind of weird. You know, like when I put it in the sleeve, it's like it's all upside down when I put it in the sleeve. I don't know if it's supposed to go this. Maybe it's supposed to go this way, like sideways or something. But anyway, maybe I got the picture like wrong. Maybe it's supposed to show her like in the coffin, like sideways or something. Yeah, who knows? Because because it opens up this way. You see that? Anyway, Lucifer 5. This is a really, really good record. Every song is good. They kind of got that retro kind of, you know, that they're influenced by a satanic rock band from the 60s that was called Covenant. I believe that's the name of the band, or the Covenant or Covenant. But anyway, they were influenced by them, obviously. And let me see what I got a video clip of Lucifer. All right, so here's a little taste of Lucifer at number 15 on the Metal Block. I love her vocals. Let me take a picture off there. I love her vocals. I mean, she's got that very subtle voice, and you know, like I said, they're sort of I guess they're considered a Satanist band. Do they worship the devil? I'm just a rock and roll rebel. They say I worship the devil, but I'm just a rock and roll rebel. Hey, look at that cross back there. Does that mean I worship the devil because it's upside down? Look at that pentagram or the Baphomet flag from the Satanic Temple. Does that mean I worship the devil? No, not at all. It's all imagery. It's just all art expression. You know, I'm an atheist / agnostic. I like to say that because I like to have a little bit of a question mark and edge just in case there is something on the other side that is going to determine whether I burn up or strum harps. You know, I want to be able to say, well, I wouldn't mind strumming some harps. I could play guitar. I could learn harps if you let me in, God. I mean, I didn't totally doubt you existed. You know, just question it. Like everyone should be able to question whether you exist or not. Okay, but if he says like, well, no, you didn't accept me in your heart, even though you did a lot of good things for people, you helped them with their addiction and everything, and you overcome addiction yourself, and you know, you gave to charities, you know, you always, you know, when you're at the checkout and they ask you if you want to round it up to 2 cents, whatever, did you say yes? You donated to charity. So, but you didn't accept my name in your heart as Jesus as your savior. That's my son, and I feel kind of offended by that. So, you know, you're just gonna have to go to hell. I'm going, oh fuck, man. If that's the way God is, I don't want to be any part of it. So yeah, so number 15 was Lucifer 5. Get out there and get that record. They name all their records after a number, like the first one is 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. So imagine the next record is going to be 6 with Roman numerals. All right. So let's talk about some of the things I did earlier in the year. You know, the Metal Block I have guests on, and it was a real treat to be able to get the singer Madam X. I think he was like my first kind of real celebrity, like on the show. I mean, I've had a lot of good people on the show, like well-known people. But Brett Kaiser, you know, because he was part of my childhood in 1984 when Madam X came out. You know, I should have showed a picture. I should have loaded up a picture for this. But just got there and just Google Madam X, MADAMX, and you'll see how they look back in the 80s. And they had a song called "You're High in High School." It was on MTV a lot. You know, we went and bought the record. The bass player has this really cool ass fucking hair spiked out, and his name was Godzilla, Chris Godzilla. And you know, it's really cool looking dude. And so yeah, I reached out to them and thought, you know, let me take a chance and see if they do my show. And ended up getting Brett Kaiser, the singer, and he lives in I think he lives in Arizona, but he performs in Vegas too. He does like Elvis Presley impersonations, and he's also still in Madam X. Madam X is still going strong, and he assured me that they're working on a new record. But here's a little clip from my interview with Brett Kaiser, just to kind of give you a little heads up, and you can see the full show on my channel if you click through my videos. And remember, hit like and subscribe. Were you guys kind of writing the songs as you're recording? Like, in other words, like
a couple of them. Yeah, a couple of them. I mean, we had high school, Metal in My Veins, all that kind of stuff, and like Max's solo, Max Volume, whatever it was before Metal in My Veins. She did that on the fly, and
oh wow,
some other songs we wrote. We were writing as we were on the road, And when we started doing our, mostly all originals, we always threw a couple of covers in the set. Like an Ozzy song or an Accept song. Son of a Bitch. We used to do that song.
Cool. Oh, cool.
And
so he was real cool to talk to. Very, very likable guy, talkable guy, and I'm hoping to get him back on the show eventually. They said they're working on a new record. I guess it was supposed to be out at the end of 2024, but I guess maybe things got held up or so. They're all, I think, from what I understand, they all live in different cities. They all live in different places in different parts of the United States. So the two sisters, Maxine Petrucci, she's the guitar player, and then Roxy Petrucci, you might know her from Vixen. She's the drummer of Vixen. So after Madam X, she went on to that. And then, they eventually got back together and they put out an album in 2017, I believe, called Monstrosity. And I think that's a really good record. So get out there and check out some Madam X, if you want some really good, like that Twisted Sister style rock. I mean, I think your album Reserve the Right Rock should have been just as epic as far as commercial success. It should have been just as big as Stay Hungry, because it's that kind of powerful, like anthemic music that's just very well written and very well done, very well produced. And I think they didn't get the love that Twisted Sister got. So it could have been just marketing all. So I think Brett talks about a lot about that in the interview. So so that was really cool. And I was able to pull up a picture of Madam X so you can get it. Here's how they look back in the day. Brett's down there with the blonde hair. He's the one leaning down there in the middle. You got the two sisters up there, and there's that guy with the big old hair on the far left there. That's Chris Godzilla. Yeah, so a really great band. And then, so then I got to interview Jesse Snyder from Twisted Sister. No, he's not from Twisted Sister, but he's D Snyder's son. D Snyder's son, and he's a comic book writer. He's also a musician. He's got a band. He's got music that he puts out as well. He's got a couple solo albums, but he did this. I got him on the show because he did this comic book called "Fucking for the Future." He's the writer of it. Look at the art on that. I finally got the physical copy of it. So really, I'm going to do a review on it eventually. I just haven't had a chance yet, but I'm going to do a full review on this comic book where you can read through it. I have the PDF version of it. So he was really cool to talk to. He shared some stories about him and his dad, their relationship, father and son. Dad being the lead singer of the iconic band Twisted Sister, and things like that. So here's a little clip of Jesse Snyder talking to me on the metal block. Let me see if I can find it here. Bear with me, people. Jesse Snyder.
I ended up just kind of going through a series of calamities from just losing my big job at the time. I was the voice of Kia Motors. I'm a very big voiceover actor, or big in the way where a lot of people know me, whether they know it or not. I remember buying a Kia is one smart move.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
I did all of their commercials for a very long time. Pizza Hut and GameStop and Cheeto. What more taste? Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut.
Oh, nice.
They're still doing an impression of me on every GameStop commercial, which used to be pre-order Madden, get good sooner. GameStop.
Power. Oh, nice.
So he did you recognize those voices? So he does voice acting. He was on a reality TV show. I forgot what it was, something about the family rocking the band or something like that. But anyway, you just watch the full interview, get the whole the gist. My brain is kind of warped. But anyway, get out there and get Fucking for the Future. It's a comic book. Look up his studio there you saw. But if you just Google Fucking for the Future, not only will you get a bunch of porn links probably, but you'll get this comic book eventually. Just make sure you don't travel down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying, man? Anyway, so let's do this. Let's get to my number 14 down to 11. All right, let's see. So what is number 14 on the top 20 metal and rock releases of 2024 here on the Metal Block with you, with me. I'm Eric, your host. Look at that. Accept. Humanoid. Yeah. Good record, Is it as good as the album they put out before this? I can't remember the name of it. Something that's with the snake on the cover. Anyway, Humanoid. It's a solid record. I mean, it's just solid. The thing about bands like Accept and like Saxons, Exodus, but those kind of bands that's been around for over 40 years. I'd have to say, especially if they're kind of in that thrash realm. Like, I don't think Accept was ever considered thrash, except for like maybe their first Restless with the Shark. That's a very thrashy kind of song. But bands that are kind of like, German metal or whatever, they seem to like never disappoint. Like, they're just always going to put out. Like, you never have to worry about them going to come out with some song that's like all commercial sounding, like how The Warning comes out with like that industry kind of sounding stuff or whatever. I mean, they just put out quality metal, like just powerful metal tracks. It just sounds really cool. So I want to play a clip off this record from Accept. This is one of my favorite songs on the record, Frankenstein, because Frankenstein's one of my favorite little monsters, like from the horror movies. Check this out. What do I got here? Look. We got a little mini Frankenstein. Woo! So here is Frankenstein. Oops, wrong one. Frankenstein. Another big trend in 2024, even maybe a little even before 2024, was a lot of the bands are using AI style videos where it's like all constantly changing. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm sure they get a lot of heat from that. You're putting out work or putting workers out of their business, or people, artists and filmmakers and things. What can I talk today? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so cool video, but because it's all AI. But that song is just love that powerful, that pounding beat. And I almost played you number 13. You saw like a little clip, so like a little spoiler alert. But number 13. So get out there and get Accept's Humanoid if you like what you heard there. Get that. I can't put links on my YouTube for some reason now because I guess I violated some kind of community standard. They won't tell me what I did. I think it has something to do with me not updating my ID or something like that. So I did send them a picture of my ID and just waiting for that. But so I can't like put links or anything in the description right now. So I can put stuff there, but you have to copy and paste. And I could probably put it in the comments and then just pin it or something. But, just look up Accept Humanoid. You know where to find it. Get out there and find music, all right? We'll talk about that in here a little bit, about where to find music at when people say rock is dead. Like Gene Simmons says rock is dead. Fuck you, Jane. Number 13, Warlord. Warlord is a band that's been around for a long time. I never really got into the early stuff. They're one of those bands that just kind of flew past me, I guess. Like I said, throughout the late 80s, early 90s, 2000s, I was sort of always drinking and partying, having a good time. And there's like a lot of stuff I did miss, So, but I finally discovered this, and then like, I like this guy, Giles Lavery. He's part of the Metal Voice, which is another cool YouTube channel you guys should check out. It's kind of what inspired me to do this. It was like the Metal Voice, Eddie Trunk Show, there's a lot of different things. You said different platforms or different people who do podcasts and things sort of inspired me to do the Metal Block. Now, I don't get as many views and all that stuff and love as they get, but you got to start somewhere, right? So Giles Lavery has always been a part of that cast, and I always like his personality. He's kind of like he's got like this straightforward "fuck you," kind of. I don't want to deal with any shit today, but he's cool at the same time, and then. Kind of as a Facebook friend, he's always cool to follow on Facebook because he's got some really cool posts. But at the time, I didn't know who he was really. I didn't know he was a singer. I didn't know the scope of his vocals. But he's a phenomenal fucking singer, man. I guess now he sings for Alcatraz because he was the manager for Alcatraz and a few other bands like Girls School and stuff. And then he started singing for Alcatraz, and then I guess he started singing for Warlord, and because they went through a lot of changes and man. It's just and this album is just really good. It should even be a little bit higher on my list. I don't know why it's not. I think it was No, it was actually lower on my list before, but then it went up higher. But it's a really, really, really good album. And here's a song from it. Just very melodic. I mean, and I like the keyboards on it. I mean, because it's metal, but it's at the same time it's got kind of almost like I would say kind of almost like a goth kind of feel to it, you know, like gothic rock, like death rock kind of sound to it. I mean, they probably would totally disagree with me, but what's death rock? We don't sound like death rock, you know? But to me, it's got that kind of feel to it. That song anyway, just very good. It's very melodic. Again, let's see. Let me show you what I do with the record. Yeah, so here's the record, what it looks like. Get the cool inlay. Yeah, Warlord. Legendary band, and then Giles Lavery, the lead singer, is very, very good. Very good singer, man. I mean, that guy fucking belt that shit out. I mean, I seen him doing some of that when he was singing in Alcatraz, and to me, Graham Bonnet is like one of the voices that you just doesn't sound like anybody can really mess with, because I mean, he hits these notes and he screams really loud. Graham Bonnet does, you know, when he was in Alcatraz and Rainbow. And I was thinking, how's Giles Lavery going to pull off those songs? Like, you know, I forgot what the one hit they had, like, you know, Hiroshima. And what's that one song about? Can't remember the title of it, but it's a very popular song. But anyway, it's got a very crazy vocal range. But he fucking nailed that shit. Like, he just nailed it like it was nothing. It was like, yeah. So Giles Lavery, good for you, brother. Yeah. So that was my number 13. What's number 12? What's number 12? What's number 12 on the metal block? Ace Frehley, shock me, make me feel better. Good solid record, you know. It's Ace. This will probably be like, I don't know if this is gonna be ever the last like actual studio record with original music that he's gonna put out. I know he's working on volume 3 right now with a bunch of covers. I love that album cover. That's just really cool. Look how cool it is, the shocking stuff. It's a good solid record. And he had a Mark. What am I thinking? Mark Brown or Steve Brown? Steve Brown from the band Trickster, I guess, worked with him on this record, and I guess he sort of like helped him with a lot of the songwriting and all this stuff and the production of it. And it's very well produced. Every song is like, it just sounds like an Ace Frehley record. I mean, I would put it up there with his solo record and Kiss. That's where I'd put this up. Like if the Kiss solo record, if this came out like right after the Kiss solo record, it would make total sense music wise, because it would just seem like it would be like clockwork. Here's Ace's solo record from Kiss, and he like leaves. Let's just say leave the band in. He's like, I'm gonna put out my own record. And he puts out his own record. It's this right after that. I would play a clip. I think you might have heard the songs a million times with it. Let's see. Yeah, that's just your typical Ace right there. A good production is the way that punches you right in the fucking gut right there. Yeah, so that's my number 12. Number 12 is Ace Frehley, 10,000 volts. I think I said 1,000 volts earlier, but 10,000 volts. That's enough to kill you. You know, 10,000 milligrams of caffeine is what you can, is the minimum you can have before it kills you. I looked that up. I used to drink like 3 energy drinks a day, like the Bang energy drinks, you know, the 300 milligrams a can of caffeine, 300 milligrams of caffeine per can. And I was drinking 3 of those a day, every day for a number of years. And so that's like almost 1,000 milligrams. I even looked it up on Google. I was like, how many milligrams of caffeine can you have before it kills you? And it said 10,000. So I'm like, holy, okay. So I guess I'm okay. Woo! Number 11. these guys always make my list, you know. I mean, they're just unstoppable, you know. And they're a band I kind of discovered late in life. I know they were like very, very influential on a lot of guitar players and people of my era. Some reason I just didn't really ever get it. I was always a Blackmore fan because I think because I got into Blackmore with Rainbow, so Rainbow was always been my favorite, and Richie Blackmore is my #1 favorite guitar player. Then I went back and started listening to all the old Deep Purple stuff with him on it. This unfortunately doesn't have Richie Blackmore. They got a new guy. He's kind of a younger guy, I guess, because everyone else is like in their 80s. So this album is Deep Purple -1. Or no, is it minus? Is that no equals 1? As you can tell, I'm bad at math. So Deep Purple =1 is number 11. Fucking solid album. I mean, what I love about them is they have like that kind of rock groove, whatever, and then they break out into this really cool melodic kind of chorus. A lot of nice guitar work on this album, like from that new guy. They really let him shine on it, which I think is really cool. You know, usually the new guy has to kind of take a back seat, you know. I guess Steve Morse was playing before him, and he had to take some time off for family issues, and I think he just pretty much retired, basically. So, yeah, so they brought in this young guy to really nail it down. So here's a clip from Deep Purple's -1. I think this is called Portable Door. Portable Door. Is it portable? You can take the door anywhere you want.
When it came to me one day in Jerksville, man, I was right on the edge. And that jacket's too small for a man of your size, and those socks are too big for your head. My eyes glaze, whatever you say, I'm listening, do tell me more. It goes under the bridge, right over my head, and out to my portable door.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Gillan, man, that voice. I mean, like I said, I think you see the 78, maybe it might be 80 by now. I have to look, but I mean, he still has it vocal wise. I mean, the dude's just fucking powerful singer. I mean, you want to hear some of the best vocals you'll ever hear is Child in Time. Go back and watch, Google Child in Time on YouTube, and just listen to that vocal he does on there. He does real high shit on there, and it's just an amazing, amazing singer. And he's still pulling it off at his age. So yeah, so that's my number 11. Before we get into number 10, let's talk about. Let's see. I'm gonna take my glasses off here. Let's talk about a little bit of I guess what like events that happened in 2024. What are some stuff that you remember? Big, you know, I guess news and music or metal music or whatever. Earlier in the year in January, we, you know, Merciful Fate announced that the band was partying with Joey Vera. Everyone knows Joey Vera from Armored Saint. He was playing with Merciful Fate there for a while, and then they got Becky Baldwin. I knew she was going to replace him because she played a couple shows with them just on that tour. And I remember thinking, I bet she's going to end up like being like in this band or something, because she just kicked ass. And then so I kind of predicted that she was going to, because she kind of filled in for Joey when he was off on a couple of dates, and then boom, I guess he just decided to leave permanently. Probably committed more time to Armored Saint, which is his main band, and then Becky Baldwin came in. So then yeah. Let's see what else has happened, and I'm just going through the Wikipedia news of 2024. Lynch Mob has ended. No big deal. I'm not really a big Lynch Mob fan. I love George Lynch, but just not a big Lynch Mob. Oh, Eric Bromwell of Skid Row had to step out because of, you know, for health issues. He just said touring and stuff, just, you know, because he had cancer and everything, and you know, he's in remission, I think, but he always has to do these kind of treatments for his cancer, so he had to he just had to leave Skid Row because it was just too strenuous for him. He's still out there putting out phenomenal vocal videos where he like covers different tunes. I mean, fuck, man, he's just an amazing singer. I think the last one he did a, what song did he do just recently? I just saw him where he just blew my fucking mind. It's like, oh man, just look up Eric Gronwall. Eric, Gronwall, Eric with a K, like I am. And Skid Row's still out of a singer. They refused to work with Sebastian Bach, which is unfortunate, but you know. Ozzy Osbourne was inducted into the Hall of Fame. What'd you think about that? You know, I mean, it sucks that he was able to perform, but he sat in the chair. I would have wished that he would have like sort of talked more about like all the other people who were involved in his music, like as far as writing. Obviously, we all know that he wrote hardly anything that everyone else wrote for him, but he took most of the credit, especially when it comes to Bark at the Moon. They made Jakey Lee sign a waiver to give Ozzy all the songwriting credits, even though Jakey Lee pretty much wrote everything on that record. So, but it was nice to see him being inducted. You know, I think Foreigner got inducted, so we actually got a little bit more rock this time in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because, you know, for years we were just getting shit on, you know, like the Grammys, they shit on rock. You know, they don't even show like the rock categories anymore on TV. They don't even show like the winnings on TV. It's like, ooh, rock is taboo now. So let's just give our Grammys to all the lip syncers. I'm not gonna get stuck on that again, man. Fuck. Milli Vanilli got their careers ripped apart for lip syncing. They got their Grammys taken away from them. Now artists are actually getting celebrated for it. They're getting Grammys for lip syncing. And there's like 50 songwriters on one song. It's like, you don't need 50 songwriters for a 3-minute fucking who's a big pop star. I wouldn't say Taylor Swift. She writes her own shit, you know, but yeah, you don't need 50 fucking songwriters for one pop song. They just all want their name up to be shown on screen. Just because they wrote one little note probably, or they probably suggested a lyric or something. I'm a songwriter. Power Trip was a big festival that happened this year. That went down really well. It was AC/DC, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. You know, there was 2 bands per night, and you know, Guns N' Roses. That was really cool. That was in California. Let's see what else. Dimmu Borgir, they lost their guitar player. I haven't heard Dimmu Borgir in a long time. That's a band I need to get more on vinyl. I thought I ordered one of their vinyls recently, but I guess I didn't. Anyway, the major one was that Jane's Addiction fight. How was that? I mean, come on, I should have pulled a clip of that. I meant to, but yeah, fucking when Perry Farrell sucked, or at least pushed or whatever, tried to fight Dave Navarro on stage, and then after that, we don't hear nothing about Jane's Addiction anymore. So yeah, he was just going through some crazy shit. But man, that reminds me of the days of Will-O-Wisp. You know, we got our little fights, me and Tony, and I don't know if we ever got in a fight on stage though in front of people. I know we've gotten pissed on stage before and probably threw our instruments down and left because we got cut off or something. But you know, we've had some pretty nice brawls in the rehearsal room. You know, Tony would throw his drumsticks at me and shit, fucking ping me in the eye. I'm like, fuck, man. And I think I was like gonna hit my guitar player with my guitar one time because we were arguing about something. I picked up my guitar, like I was gonna hit him with it, and he thought I really was going to. I really wouldn't have hit him with it, but you know, I don't know. Maybe I would have if I was drunk enough. I mean, I was drinking that day. One of the biggest news, aside from, you know, we lost Nico McBrain of Iron Maiden, but Iron Maiden has got a new drummer. No, we lost Paul Di'Anno earlier. I passed away. That's what I meant to say. But we lost Nico McBrain as the drummer from Iron Maiden, and replaced by, I can't remember what the guy's name is. Simon Dawson from British Lion. You know, everyone had their speculations. Who's going to replace him? Who's going to replace him? So you got to understand, Nico McBrain didn't leave Iron Maiden. He just left the touring aspect of it. So Nico McBrain, whether he plays on a new record or not, if Iron Maiden's got a new record in store, you know, I heard they did, but they also going to start their tour next year, the Run for Your Lives tour, where they're going to play all the first 7 records, like, you know, with a bunch of deep cuts. From what I understand, I guess Bruce Dickinson just announced it yesterday, that they're going to be playing songs that they never even played before. So that's going to be a pretty cool tour. And then, yeah, so Nico McBrain is out. Simon Dawson is in. Nico McBrain, he owes us nothing. He gave us 42 years of just excellence on drums. And, you know, he deserves this retirement. He deserves to, you know, just to live and eat at his restaurants for the rest of his life. And he's got those restaurants in Florida, and he's just going to be chilling. But yeah, I like it. I'm hoping that he still plays on the records, you know. But he's supposed to be, you know, like I said, he even now announced it, you know, and said that he's going to be involved in a lot of different Iron Maiden projects. So yeah, so I don't think he's like out of the band. It's just, he's just not in the touring aspect of it. But who knows, you know, they said about Mick Mars. Mick Mars like, oh, I'm just going to be not touring. The next thing you know, there's this lawsuit. They kick fucking Mick Mars out. No, but they would, Iron Maiden are tight, man. Those guys are brothers, man. They would never do that shit to Nico. I'm confident that they wouldn't. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, oh yeah, big news too, like the band, which they're going to be one of my honorable mentions, just because I had gotten in. I wouldn't say I'm totally into. I mean, I like it, I want to like it. It's a band, Knocked Loose. They're a young band, I guess metalcore style band. Singer just screams, you know. But they made a mark on Jimmy Kimmel when they went on there, and I guess apparently it was too heavy for the Jimmy Kimmel audience because everyone's like complaining, and you get mothers were just wanting Jimmy Kimmel to apologize, and I ripped on his one mom that said her son was crying because he doesn't like scary things, and I was like, holy shit, that's not the band's fault, that's your fault for raising your kid that way. It's like, fuck. So yeah, anyway, so that happened. So yeah, that's some metal news. I'm not the greatest news anchor, but figure we go through that. And let's go to my top 10. We're at the top 10 now. Let me put my shades back on. All right. Yeah. Metal shades. All right, let's do it. Number 10. What is number 10? David Gilmour, man. Fuck. Let me pull this out, man. I got this on. I definitely got this in my. I never thought I'd buy a David Gilmour record. I'm always loved David Gilmour as a guitar player. Look at that. You got it in plastic still, but it is open because I do jam it quite often. Got the blue vinyl. Luck and Strange. I mean, it's just when the first song I heard of it, and I was just like, okay, I gotta have that, because there's something about David Gilmour's playing, his guitar playing, and the way he sings. It's just very comforting. It's soothing. It's relaxing. His lyrics are kind of deep and meaningful in the sense if you really pay attention to like what a lot of the stuff he sings about. But overall, it's just a good record. I mean, as a matter of fact, it should even be a little bit higher on my list, but it's just because again discovered it a little bit later in the year. Came out a little bit later in the year. But he does a song with his daughter. As a matter of fact, his daughter's on the record a few times, and I think her name is Ronan or something, or I can't remember her name, but anyway. She sings on a song called Between Two Points, and I think this song is probably one of my favorite songs of the year. I mean, I found the backing track where there's no vocals, and I love jamming guitar over it because it's in the key I love, and yeah, check this out.
Trust in an unknown, fell headlong into the arms of the force that stirred me, unsteady to steady heart, and took me to a place I've never been. Place I've never been since. Stopped hoping it's an early age.
Yeah, man. I mean, her voice is so nice, and she kind of looks like David Gilmour, like a younger version, like when he was younger. It's like that's his daughter, definitely. But yeah, I mean, and he does a cool guitar solo at the end of this, and he's. I mean, Comfortably Numb to me, the solo in Comfortably Numb, especially the live version, comfortably, I can never say that word, Comfortably Numb from Pink Floyd, the live version, guitar solo, to me, it's just one of the greatest ever. I mean, it's just like, from the first note to the end, it's just one of the best improvised. It's in the key of B minor, which is a beautiful key to play in. Yeah, so that's my number 10, number 10. Number nine. This is a band that was a little bit higher up on my list back in June, but it kind of dropped because all these other albums started coming out and stuff like that. But it's still a phenomenal record. I was just jamming it last night, just sort of thinking like maybe I should put it up a little bit higher. But I said I'll just leave it here because then I got to change the graphics and all that shit. But Takeda. How do you say it? Takeda. This is another band I just kind of discovered flipping around on YouTube, and just. Kind of like that album cover sort of stuck out to me, and I was like, let me check it out. The album is called The Agony Flame. It's on my number 9, and I got that on. Of course, I got it on vinyl right here. The Agony Flame. And yeah, you can see that. Like, why are you showing the graphic if you already have it on vinyl? Then you could just show the album cover. Why not? I don't know. I spent time on those graphics. So they're not like, they don't have like a big image or nothing. I think it's the singer right there with the short hair or whatever. Not a big image band or anything, but just really cool, down to earth looking guys, whatever. From Sweden. Something about, I always say this, something about Sweden, Finland, all those countries over there. They're just phenomenal songwriters. I mean, they just know how to really make a melody freaking work. I mean, I'm a big guy about melody, man. When I write songs, it's all about the melody. I'll come up with the melody first sometimes and put the chords behind it. I'll do vice versa. But that melody that's what makes the song. You can have 3 chords. I can give 3 different guitar songwriters the same chord progression, three chords, like A minor, F to G or something like that. And I can put you in a room separately, and then you're each going to come up with a melody that's just going to be so totally different, totally unique, because there's so many different variations, and it's just, this is how melody can make a song. It's the hook, in a way, like, when you hear a hook, it's like, the word that came out a little bit later on in life, but in the music world, it's part of music theory, the hook. But anyway, so yeah, Takeda, really good band. Like, their songs are just very melodic, I wouldn't say they're heavy. I would say they're more like kind of in the like hard rock kind of era, but like just very melodic. Let me play a clip from these guys. The song is called The Loneliest Hour, and it's just oh man, here we go. You know what I mean? It's like the melodies they're using, and then they break in this really powerful melodic chorus, and all the songs are kind of like that. I mean, this song here, I thought I pulled a different song called "The Third Strike," which is like my favorite song. And I didn't know the singer is wearing kind of sort of corpse paint in this video, which other videos he's just kind of normal looking. And, some of it's just maybe just for the video, maybe for the storyline. But yeah, it's just powerful. It's kind of almost a little bit of Depeche Mode in the beginning, kind of that type of feel. Good band, man. I wouldn't mind seeing them in concert if they ever came into Portland, But yeah, I'd like to go back and explore their whole catalog. I just haven't had a chance yet, but see what they sound like. They're probably one of those bands that used to be like a death metal band or like like real heavy. He probably used to sing all like that, and then all of a sudden they just decided to go mellow and melodic and shit, kind of like My Dying Bride, which is another good band. Yeah, so that's my number. What was that number? Oh yeah, that was number 9. Number 8. Finally, The Cure. I know they're not metal, but this is a metal and rock episode. New releases of metal and rock. So The Cure follows in alternative rock or goth rock, however you want to do it. But anyway, been waiting forever for this album, man. I mean, it's fucking good. I mean, number 8. The Cure should have been a little bit higher because The Cure is one of my all-time favorite bands, one of my biggest influences musically. Robert Smith, I used to like eat, drink, and sleep everything Robert Smith, and used to know everything about him. I still kind of do, but I mean, just he's the one that kind of taught me how melodies kind of work behind simple chord structures, and to be able to like take a bunch of different melodies and layer them on top of each other and have different dynamics going on at the same time. You know, for a song that's like maybe 4 or 5 minutes long, and then you got all of these different. If you listen to Disintegration, there's so much going on. I mean, if you're someone like me who can listen to music and everything's sort of like 3-dimensional or whatever, or surround sound. So when I put in Disintegration, especially in headphones, I can hear every little thing, and they got all this cool stuff going on, where you're just like picking and wow, that's neat over there, that's neat over there, that's neat over there, and so they went back to that sort of style on this album. I mean, they've had some good albums after Disintegration. I mean, there's a couple clunkers that happened later on in the 2000s or whatever. But, you know, Blood Flowers was supposed to be the Disintegration. It was supposed to be Robert Smith saying, we're going back to the Disintegration when Blood Flowers came out. And it was good, but it wasn't like that. But, yeah. And I got this on vinyl, of course, you know. Kind of an interesting album cover. It's got like a kind of a face, I guess, and being molded out of a rock. Very simple, 8 songs. They played most of these songs like on tour. I got to see them last year in concert, and they played most of the new songs on tour. Like I think they played like 6 new songs, you know. So basically, but at least they didn't release them as singles, like, you know, like actual singles, like The Warning did. But anyway, but we did know about 6 songs out of the 8 that were already. But I didn't really wear them out like you know, other bands. Like I didn't wear them out, so it was still fresh to me when I heard it. But the song Alone was really good. That's like the first song. But yeah, this is like they're going back to that Disintegration kind of feel. And it's like I said, it was supposed to be released a couple of years ago, and just Robert Smith just, I guess, sat on it for a while. But anyway, let me play a little clip. This is called Drone, No Drone. Remember the drones in New Jersey? Whatever happened to them? Takes a while for his vocals to come in. Let's think about the songs on here. Long intros before the singing starts, but you know, he sounds like Robert Smith. You can never go wrong with that. And yeah, that song in there particularly kind of sounds more like it could be on "Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me." Just the way those guitars sound and the way the keyboards are punching like that. Yeah, so that's my number 8. Number 7, Saxon. This is such a good record. I mean, they've been on a roll with their last few albums and stuff. The album before this, Carpe Diem, or I think it was called Diem, if I'm saying that right, was really good. But this album is just next level good for Saxon. I was never big on them in the early days for some reason. They're one of those bands that just kind of flew past me, you know. Like I don't know what it was, why I didn't get into them sooner. You know, I have been going back and listening to a lot of their older catalog and get into that. But this is such a good record. It's just powerful. It's metal. It's like just, you know, nothing really you can say bad about it. It's just a really good, solid metal record. If you just want to put on some solid metal, in your face metal, sounds like, you know, it just sounds like that classic metal with a little bit of the modern guitar sounds or whatever. I mean, that's one thing I want to point out on this album. The guitar playing, the solos, very, very good. I mean, a lot of melodic solos, almost kind of feels like Adrian Smith style type of the way Adrian Smith of Iron Maiden sounds when he solos. Just not as like intricate, but very melodic and very cool. I love this song right here. Just like, I just love the driving beat of this. This is called Madame Guillotine.
Call me the jet. I come to settle your debt. Mary Antoinette. I took your pretty head.
how's that, man? That's when that beat comes in, when the vocals come in, it's just perfect. Like, yeah, so Saxon, hell, fire, and damnation. Yeah, it's a good video too. Yeah, look at those guys, man. Probably in their late 60s, early 70s, and still doing it, still doing their thing. Gives me hope. I'm 56. I'll be on stage again. When I hit 60, I'm gonna get back on stage. You're wondering why I got this wasp shirt on? Like, what do they do in 2024? Well, I'll tell you about it later when I talk about my concerts I've gone to, and I'll let you know what my favorite concert of all time is, if this isn't a spoiler alert. That was number 8. Number 7 is this band ended up as being my number 1, as far as I did an episode with my good friends Nathan and Nico Gould from Darkness My Desire, and then Nathan from New York, a good friend of mine. We did our top 10 black metal of 2024. We went around and did our top 10. You can see that on the channel. Hit like and subscribe, please. Yeah, so we did our top 10, and this band here, if I can find their picture, they made my number 1 on that list, as far as, because it was just all black metal, death metal, extreme metal. But on the regular metal and rock, Rotting Christ, Pro Extra Cristo, if I'm saying it right. Just love this record. I mean, I got into another band I got into kind of late in life, and even though they've been around forever, but then I went back and bought a few of their older records. It's just such a good record. It's just very epic, very powerful. I think it's telling some story, maybe a biblical story or something, but it's just amazing how it sounds. I'm going to play a little clip for you. And when I say I'm going to play this clip, and if you don't hear nothing or see nothing, it's probably because I had to block it out of YouTube, because YouTube probably blocked it, and I probably, sorry about that, probably had to edit it out or something. So just in case it looks weird, I'm saying, check out this clip, and then you say nothing, and I say, yeah, that was cool, right? Anyway, here is Rotting Christ. Cool name. I think a lot of the songs are about like how when Christianity came in, it's kind of like overruled the paganism or the pagan lifestyle, and then the Christians came in and sort of like, did away with it all. So they're like talking about like revenge on Christianity. I think really about that kind of stuff. Yeah, good album, man. Fucking killer, fucking record. Get out there and get Rotting Christ, Pro Cristo. If I'm saying that right, Xristo. Probably Zelisto. These guys are from Greece. They're Greek metal. There's a lot of good Greek metal out there. So yeah, get out there and get that. And on my number 6, we're almost to the top 5, I believe. No, wait, they were my number 6, right? Okay, all right. So let me see. Yeah, they were my number 6. So let's do a little bit of something different here. Before I move to my number 5 down to 1. I'm wearing Wasp because, okay, so I got to see concerts this year. I didn't get to see a lot of concerts, okay? For some reason, work and everything, there were some bands that came to town that I didn't get to see because, when Gore came I really wanted to see Squid Pisser open up for Gore, but I just couldn't get out of work for that one. That was back in October, I believe. But yeah, so I got to see some concerts. I got to see Amon Amarth, Judas Priest, Yngwie Malmsteen, Iron Maiden, and Wasp. Now, I ranked them. I just said my ranking right there. So Amon Amarth would probably be my 5th concert. But Amon Amarth played with Cannibal Corpse. I didn't get to see all of Cannibal Corpse because I kind of got there a little bit late. I saw the last couple of songs, but Cannibal Corpse was kick-ass. Amon Amarth was good. I'm getting kind of tired of them a little bit. I'm going to say tired of them, but you're going to hear so much of it's kind of like a lot of their songs kind of start sounding the same a little bit after a while. Stage-wise, it was pretty cool. Stage production. It's kind of like, it could be a little bit overdone with the whole Viking thing. It's almost like one thing I don't like about pirate metal is they overdo the image, and like they get all fucking festive and ho 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 about everything, and Amon Amarth is kind of starting to do that with the Viking thing, which is, you know, I guess it's kind of cool for a lot of people that, you know, they do the row thing on the floor. But that was pretty cool. But I like Cannibal Corpse. You know, they can never go wrong with them. Always heavy, always brutal. So yeah, so that was my number 5. I saw that in April, and then in October, my number 4 concert of the year was to see Judas Priest. Now they opened up with Sabaton opened up for them. Luckily I missed them because I don't really care about Sabaton. I'm just not a big fan of that music. I can't do this power. I like some power metal, like I love Halloween, obviously. They're like the pioneers of that. And there's some band that I can kind of like. Powerwolf I couldn't get into, tried to. Sabaton, I guess they're kind of like power metal, but like I said, when it gets too anthem-y and, you know, it's kind of ho ho ho, every song, like I just can't get into that. But I'm sure there's good stuff on there. I just haven't heard by them. But so Judas Priest was good. What can I say? I mean, Judas Priest, Rob Halford's hitting all those fucking notes in Painkiller that I didn't think he'd be able to hit. He was fucking hitting them hard. And then so October was like my biggest month for concerts, because I saw, hold on a second, I'm about to sneeze. Yeah, I got to see like 4 concerts in October. So Judas Priest was one of them. It kicked off in October. October 10th was Judas Priest. And then I got to see Yngwie Malmsteen on October, I want to say 23rd, maybe it was. Or no, it was, might have been before. Can't remember if there was. Oh, it was it was October 23rd, I believe, because Iron Maiden was the 20th. So Yngwie Malmsteen, saw him in a small club. I wouldn't say club, but a small kind of theater, the Boston Over Ballroom. Really kick ass, very intimate. I mean, he was a fucking badass. I mean, last time I saw him in concert was back in 2003 with the G3 tour, whatever. And I remember he was kind of drunk. It seemed like he was drunk. I don't know, maybe he didn't drink on stage, but he just seemed like pretty out of it at that time. This time he was on game. I mean, he's just fun to watch because he's just throws the guitars around everywhere, and he's just very fucking like, you know, those guys in his band, they look like they're stressed out because they don't know what he's gonna do next. And I heard he's very spontaneous with the set list. Like they don't know what they're gonna play until they get on stage. And a lot of times he'll like change things up on the spot, and then they're like they got to keep up with him. And that's a good band right there. If you got a band that knows what you're gonna be doing, you know, every 5 seconds or whatever, and they can switch it up like that, then you got yourself a good band. But yeah, really cool. Yngwie was good. Iron Maiden was my number 2 concert of the year because, you know, it's Iron Maiden. I can't go wrong with them. It was the Future Past tour. I had pretty decent seats, you know. I put all these concerts on my channel. So I called it the October, I think I called it like the Concert Palooza, because I had all these concerts in October. It happened at once. So I did like little clips of each one and just called it Concert Palooza episode 1, Concert Palooza episode 2. So Iron Maiden's on there. Got about 3 or 4 songs on there. Yeah, so that was good. My number 1 concert was Armored Saint and Wasp. Armored Saint opened up for Wasp, and I got this shirt. As you see, Blackie Lawless. Yeah. But man, and Blackie, I don't think he was using very many backing tracks. And from what I understand, he kind of ditched a lot because he admitted to using them in the last tour, and which I would still like. I mean, I'm kind of against those, you know, but it's Wasp, you know, I can't turn down Wasp. It's like one of my all-time favorite bands, no matter what. So, yeah, I got to see Wasp. Seeing Armored, and I got to see Wasp for the first time in '84, and then I got to see him in the 2000s. Like I think it was 2003 when I saw him, maybe 2001 in LA. But I first saw him in Fresno in 1984 when they opened up for Crocus, and you know, at their fucking prime, you know. So, but to see him now, and they're doing the whole first album, which I think that first album, Wasp's first album, is one of the greatest metal records ever recorded. If you haven't heard it, get out there and get it, kids, because it's definitely badass. So here's a little clip from that night at the concert I went to. I filmed it myself. and Blackie looked good too. He had he looked like he lost some weight, and then he's moving around more because he had that back issue a couple years ago. That's the reason why he had to cancel in 2022 when I was supposed to see him back then. But he got his back injured by some masseuse in some country, Madrid or somewhere, in Spain. But yeah, so he's back on track, and he looks good. His hair looks good, and that's his real hair. A lot of people are saying he has a wig on. I was watching one of those questions that he does with the fans at the VIP questions, and some fan asked him about it, and he's like, "No, this is my real hair," and he's pulling on it, and because it does kind of look like a wig if you look at it a certain way. But who opened up for Wasp was Armored Saint. First time seeing them live, except for I did see him live back during COVID. They did the live stream with the whiskey, but that's not the same. But I'm so glad I got to see these guys. Now I didn't film this. I got this off of YouTube because my footage was okay, but it wasn't the greatest. So I just snagged somebody's off YouTube, but it's from the same show, Portland, Oregon. I did like a little arrow thing where you could see me in the audience. So pay attention down to the bottom left there for the first few seconds there. Here's a Armored Saint. They put on a good show. John Bush, man, the singer. I mean, he's a freak of nature, man. That dude's voice. I think he's one of the most underrated metal vocalists of our time. Because I think he's up there with like the Dios and the Ozzies and the Jeff Tates and those guys. They have obviously a different style of vocal or whatever, but I mean, it's just a good voice. It's got a kind of a warm raspiness to it, but straightforward at the same time and just clean. Hits all the notes, and I mean, just live, he's phenomenal. Great band live. Gonzo on drums. He's a badass on drums, and Sandoval on guitar. The Sandoval brothers. Yeah. Fun fact about them: they got their sister's a porn star, Alicia Rios from the '80s. Yeah, found that out because I ran into her ex-husband, or I think there was, I think it might have been ex-husband. Or husband. Anyway, he just tells us about his ex-wife, and he was a porn star himself. And he's like, "Yeah, did you know that she's a sister of the Armored Saint guys?" It's like, "Oh, really? Shit." Okay, enough of that. What is my number 5 as we move along? Oh, this album came out just on time. Body Count. Ice-T, man, is back with Body Count, Merciless. Yeah, this is Ice-T. You're gonna get my new record. Every time he talks, it sounds like he's like just being like just totally direct. Like, yo, this is Ice-T is direct. Gotta get your car shield. My number 5. Like everything's just like, I want to have some chocolate ice cream. I want to eat some ice cream. I might get some ice cream after this. All right, let's play it. Let's play a video. This song is The Purge. This is my favorite song on the record, man. It has a singer of a Cannibal Corpse in it, but I can't play the whole thing that long because it'll probably get blocked because he comes in the middle. But you gotta just check out this song, The Purge, if you get a chance, and listen to what's his name's part, Chris, Cannibal Corpse singer, Corpse Grinder. He has a role in it, and it's just, but you won't hear it in this clip because it's too long. But let's hear his Body Count.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted.
one night only, murder is legal. Body Count, Merciless, great record, man, from top to bottom, from start to finish, all that good stuff. Get out there and get Body Counts. Merciless, they never disappoint. You know, I think every one of their records has been stellar. You know, that comes out. I got their last one. I can't remember what it was, Carnivore or whatever it was. That was a good record too. Yeah. Where are we at? Number 4. This is a surprise record for me because it was kind of low on the list, and it's more I listened to it, just kept getting higher and higher and higher until it ended up as number 4. Stryper's new record. You know, I had Riding Christ earlier, and I got Stryper who sings about Christ, who's not riding. You know, When We Were Kings. This is a good record. Let me show you a little JPEG. I did take time to make it, so there we are. Stryper. When We Were Kings, number 4. On the Metal Block. Michael Sweet, you know, and the boys, Robert Sweet. I mean, that guitar sound drives it for me. I mean, you know, it's just a very good. I think at first I didn't think it was as good as their last record they put out a couple years ago. I think it was like the Final Battle or something like that, which everyone thought was like the last Stryper record, but it wasn't. But no, I mean, the more I'm listening to this, I think this is their better record. Even Michael Sweet will say like, this is our best record, and fans will be like, no, your best record is Soldier of the Command, and he'll be like, no, I want the artist to say that it's their best record, because people say they always say it's their best record and it ain't. Well, to them it is, and I would hate for an artist to come out and say, yeah, we got a new record coming out, but it's probably not as good as our last one, but you know, hopefully you like it. It's like, no, I want them to love it, you know, to love what they do, and to believe that it's their best work ever, and that they still got more to come, you know. But yeah, it would just be disappointing if a band came out and just told you, oh yeah, you get our new record, you might like it, you might not, but no big deal. Here's a clip from Stryper. This is a really good ballad, man. Good melody. I mean, just a good song. I mean, the thing about Michael Sweet, I mean, that dude's a powerhouse when it comes to ballads and stuff. Great voice, great guitar work on this album. That video, I guess, is AI too. I guess those actors are just AI like actors. Damn, like AI is getting scary, man. It's creating real looking people now. Like, we're not even gonna need actors anymore. It's like, oh, it's a new Bruce Willis movie. Or not Bruce Willis. Yeah, because Bruce Willis is like, he can't do movies anymore. So now we're gonna probably start seeing new Bruce Willis movies, him acting. Because he's got that illness going on. So my number 3, as we're moving along here to get to number 1, is of course Judas Priest. I would play a clip by them, but I want to get blocked because I think the last time I tried to play a clip from this album, it got blocked. So you know, you go online and listen to it. I mean, it's been out for a while, and there's like so many great songs that has been released on it. It's just a good album from start to finish. Is it better than Firepower that came out before it? It's a little bit different than Firepower. I think it's I think it's just as strong as an album. You know, I think they got a little bit more progressive on it than on Firepower. It's less commercially sounded stuff. It's just a really good record. I would recommend getting the bonus CD because it has like 3 unreleased tracks, or 3 tracks that aren't on the record. Actually, you know what? I think I got the bonus. No, I don't. I was thinking I had the bonus actually record with those other tracks, but I don't. So yeah, good record, good album cover. That's my number 2 or number 3. I'm really bad at counting too, as you can see. Yeah, what are we at? Hour and a half we've been doing this. All right, we're getting closer to my number 1, and we'll talk a little bit afterwards about 2024, what we're looking forward to in 2025, and all that good stuff. What else did I want to touch base on topic wise? I think I wrote down my topics. the concerts I went to. Yeah, what are we looking at? Albums in production. Yeah. Okay. What is number 2, Eric? Well, of course, it's Bruce Dickinson, The Mandrake Project. I just couldn't get enough of this record. I still can't. It's still the great. I think this was number 2 on my. I think number 2 was. It was back in June on my top 10. I think it was number 2. I think Judas Priest might have been number 2, and then they switched places. Yeah, The Mandrake Project. What can I say? I mean, this is Bruce Dickinson at his best. I mean, it's a concept album. It's got comic books that came with it. You know, which I should have broke them out and showed you those guys. But no, it didn't. And yeah, check that out. Yeah, The Mandrake Project is just a phenomenal record. I'm going to play just a clip of one of my favorite songs on the record. Just the way it sounds. I just love the way it sounds. It's got a kind of a Western feel to it. Like I said, there's so many different styles of music on this thing, but for some reason it all works together perfectly. You know, that's actually Bruce Dickinson playing that little guitar lead right there. I didn't know that. But man, that's just fucking great, man. Yeah, good album, start to finish. There's no fillers. There's no, like, you know, crappy songs. All right, so what is my number 1? What is number 1? I think you probably already guessed it because it hasn't showed up on my list yet. And you know, I've been raving about this record. If you follow me on social media or whatever, I've been raving about it all year long, and it's just like, there were other records that tried to knock it down, and they just couldn't. I mean, this is the beast of a record. I mean, it's like the freaking King of the Hill. I mean, other records just tried to beat it down, but it just couldn't. You know, this is Sebastian Bach's Child Within the Man. You know, I mean, look at that. I mean, you might oh, the album cover is kind of weird or whatever. No, but his dad painted an image of him up there, and he painted that car and him as a kid back when he was younger, and then he meshed the two paintings together. But it's just, I mean, this record right here, Child Within a Man, this is a rock, this is a metal record. I mean, this is like, if you just want straightforward, in your face, gut punching, kick you in the teeth a bunch of times music, this album will do it. And not only will the album do it, but every song will do it. Like, every song is like almost like a record of its own. Like, a record is a song, but like an album of its own, because each song has like a story to it, and it's just like the guitars are just like phenomenally well done, well produced. This is such a well produced record. I guess it's produced by the guy that does like a lot of work with like Slash's band, you know, Miles Kennedy, what's that band, Alter Bridge or whatever. His name is Elvis, something Elvis, lives in Florida, has a studio in Florida that a lot of people record with now. But such a phenomenal album. I can't say enough about it. Sebastian, I mean, you don't even need Skid Row no more, so stop trying to get things together. It'd be great if you can, though. If you guys can get together and just do it one time for the fans, that'd be great. But to tell you the truth, you don't need them. You don't need those guys, and you know, they'd be lucky to have you back, you know, because you're still belting that shit out. You're still doing phenomenal work on those songs when you play live. Those Skid Row songs, you still sing them just perfectly. But this new album blows away anything Skid Row's ever put out after you left. You know, and Skid Row put out a pretty damn good record a few years ago with that Eric Romo guy, and that was a really good Skid Row record. But this Sebastian Bach just came in and said, "Fuck no, I got it. Smash, boom, you're out of here. This is how you do it." You know, here's a little clip. I'm hoping it doesn't get blocked because this is like my favorite song on the record.
In my mind, I hold on to the dream through fading sanity.
blows your fucking brain. That melody in the beginning, that mellow part. I mean, it's just a beautiful melody. You know, you kind of thinking it was gonna like go all the way through the song with that. But then when it kicks in that verse, man, it just kicks you in the fucking teeth. I think I'm missing some teeth after that. But yeah, man, that's it. That's my number one of 2024. It survived all the way from the time it came out. Like I said, I think this is gonna be my record of the year. But then all these other records were coming out. I think, I don't know, I might knock it down. That Bruce Dickinson is pretty up there, and you know, that Takeda, that was almost my number one. But you know, Sebastian Bach, man, he just hung in there and still did it all the way to the finish line. Sebastian Bach is the greatest record of 2024, in my opinion, anyway. What is your favorite record of 2024? I do got some honorable mentions I'd like to kind of go through real quick before we wrap it up.
Welcome to the Metal Block.
Well, that was weird. Anyway, so honorable mention: Ghost released a movie this year. I saw it in the theater, then I saw it streamed. I just got it on DVD. I thought I got it on Blu-ray when I ordered it, but I guess I got it on DVD. I haven't opened it yet just because I've seen it already about 3 or 4 times, like, you know, streaming, and then in the theater. I got to see it in the theater. But yeah, Ghost right here, right now came out with a cool ass movie. They even did a soundtrack record. You know, it's got all the classics on it. It's the live album, I guess you could say. Right here, right now, got it upside down. It's got a really cool book on the inside, you know, with a lot of cool pictures, and just a really good, you know, it's not a record I'm going to jam a lot just because it's the greatest hits kind of thing or whatever. But yeah, so you can't go wrong with Ghost, you know, putting out a movie, and then they got some stuff working on. I think they're going to introduce a woman singer, because there's hints, I guess they're going to be, I think the mom or whatever, they're going to be kind of like talking about her youth, I think, because I saw a teaser poster. I forgot what her name is or whatever, but yeah, it seems like they're going to incorporate her into the next storyline. So, you know, who knows? Maybe Tobias will have a female vocalist on stage. Maybe it'll be like Linkin Park. They better come out with music like that. Honorable mention, again, I talked about these guys earlier, Knocked Loose. Seeing them on Jimmy Kimmel, just because it was great to see a band do that, because that's one of the things we've been missing a lot in metal, is like, for when it comes to like mainstream TV, to see a band go on and shock people for once, you know, especially a band like these guys are just young kids or whatever. They don't really have a big image or nothing, except for the guitar player has kind of a cool look to him. But you know, they're not like all shocking look wise, but just the way he sings and just they're in your face, he's screaming the whole time. And I guess they had that chick Poppy, which, you know, she's kind of like the same thing. It's funny because they're both come out screaming. That's why the audience probably got freaked out. They're like, who are these kids fucking screaming at us, man? It's like unruly teenagers. They're probably not teenagers, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I put on the record. It was good. Like, I got it kind of late, so I haven't had a chance to really digest it all the way through. But what made me buy it was the fact that they did what they did, because rock and metal has been missing that of shocking people, you know, becoming the villain again, you know, scaring people. They're supposed to scare adults, but apparently they scared kids too. That's what it goes to show, like, how these kids are being raised these days. It's like, fuck, man. Don't raise your kids to be wusses. Castle Rat. This band is growing on me. I'm going to give them a couple years. I think their albums are going to progress as far as music wise. It's a good album. I mean, I like the concept of them. I like, you know, she's a really good guitar player, and yeah, and then she battles like a rat type character on stage, and you know, she seemed like a cool chick. I was watching an interview with her. She seemed like a cool chick. I guess they played some bar in New Jersey that was like, they didn't realize it was a biker bar full of Nazis or something. And she's like, yeah, my band members all Jewish, so we didn't know what to think or what to feel or whatever. She thought they were gonna be playing in front of like their usual fans or whatever. But so yeah, Castle Rat, this is a band to look out for. They're new. We got them on vinyl, and I got them on cassette too. So I want to really like this record. It's the new Marilyn Manson. I was never a big Manson fan in the past. I mean, I think the only album I ever had of his was Superstar or whatever, Antichrist Superstar, and that was okay. I just was never a fan of his voice. I feel like he sings with that vocal fry that it just sounds kind of fake, like he's trying to be gothic and he's not, or he's trying to be something he's not. I don't know. Just never was a big fan of his music. And all these allegations came out about him, and I think a lot of it got dropped. So it's like you want to like him, but then you feel like, well, people's gonna like not like you because you like Marilyn Manson because of all of what he did. So it was like, who knows, should I? But you know, I really don't care what people think, because I try to separate the artist from other things, unless they do something really, really drastic. But if he really is because again, a lot of this stuff is still pending, I would think. But I think a lot of shit got dropped too. But if I found out he really did fuck around with those women like that, then yeah, then I would totally be against it. But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, but I just couldn't resist. I mean, the song that I was hearing off this thing when he put out those videos, like, damn, he actually sounds really good. He's got some good melodic choruses. Yeah, so I mean, I got him. So I got the record. I got it kind of late though, really, really late. So it didn't really place on my list, but it is definitely an honorable mention. So Marilyn Manson's new record, I think it's called the One Assassination Under God. You know, I guess that's one of his paintings, of course. But yeah, so that was my honorable mentions. And before we wrap up, let's go through what are we looking for in 2025? New releases in 2025. We got Udo's going to come out with Balls to the Wall, a re-recorded version of their classic Accept album. That's going to be interesting to hear and see. I'm definitely going to get that because it would be kind of, because I mean, it's Udo Dirkschneider. Come on, it's going to be the original. I mean, that's one of the greatest metal records ever, is that Balls to the Wall. That's one of the greatest riffs ever written, that Balls to the Wall riff. So I'd be curious to see what he does with it these days, and you know what it's going to sound like. Destruction. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to come out in March. That Udo album is going to come out in February 28th, and then March 7th we got Destruction. They're always delivering good stuff. Birth of Malice is the new album. I think they did a cover just recently. They released. I can't remember what cover they did, but it sounded really good. I mean, I think Schmear's the only original guy in the band now, but you know, I forgot what happened to Mike, the guitar player. I guess he just abruptly left the band, one of the original members, and then who knows who's on drums, but they still kick ass. I mean, Destruction, I got to see them a couple of years ago with Nervosa, and yeah, I mean, they're one of my all-time favorite thrash metal bands of all time. You know, I mean, they're one of the greats. If there was a big four international wise, I think they'd definitely be in the big four. I know the big four is going to be American bands, but if we're talking like big four of like say Europe bands, it would be definitely Destruction, Creator, Sodom, and I'm sure there's another one in there somewhere. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that in 2025. Now there's bands that have stuff in production, but they don't have any release dates. Of course, King Diamond is still working on St. Lucifer's Hospital 1920. That's a concert I was meant to go see this year, and I really wanted to because that was going to be my other concert in November. Was King Diamond, and he had Miraker, one of my all-time favorite artists, Miraker, on stage with him, but it canceled because he canceled Calgary and some other city, and then like Portland was next. And I was like, man, you better not say Portland. I'll say, I canceled Portland, but then he goes and plays Oakland a couple of days later. So yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to see King Diamond. I got to see him back in 2019 when he came, but yeah, but I did get to watch a good concert that somebody filmed online. This guy, I forgot what his name was, Scott something, but he does these really cool, really good footage, fan filmed videos, and so we filmed the whole concert. So I felt like I was at the concert just while watching his LA filmed one. So yeah, King Diamond. He's got the album St. Lucifer's Hospital 1920 in the works. That's supposed to be, I guess it's going to be a trilogy. So hopefully there's not like 3-year, 20-year gaps between each album, you know, because 2009 was his last record, I believe. So damn, come on, King. And Merciful Fate's got a new record in production. I know he played that new song. And also, there is a new song by King Diamond out. Matter of fact, let's see. I think I have a clip. Yeah, let's play it. King. This is from the new album that's going to be coming out, St. Lucifer's. Sound like King Diamond. I mean, the guy's never going to disappoint, right? Oh yeah, a couple songs came out this year, which I thought was kind of cool. Burning Riches. They don't have a new record coming out. I don't think. Maybe they do, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the upcoming albums or whatever, or bands in production. But they put out an EP just recently, and I can't really count that as in my list because it's an EP. It's only 2 songs, but let's hear a little bit of Burning Witches. She's got a cool voice, you know. Like so they got that classic metal sound. I mean, Burning Witches is a really good band, and I gotta go back and get some of their older records. I think they have a different singer on some of their earlier records, but I got their, you know, the Dark Tower, the last album that they put out. That was really good. That made my list last year. Yeah. So Burning Witches. Oh, Castle Rat. A little bit of Castle Rat. We were talking about them earlier. So kind of like doom pop, kind of electro doom. What would you call that? The genre of music. Really cool. You know, you get that 60s kind of vibe going. Anyway, so yeah. So that's who else got music in production? Cradle of Filth got a new record coming out. It's supposed to have an Ed Sheeran collaboration, which is gonna be cool. Halloween's got something in production. Wasp has something in production. Iron Maiden has actually got some in production. You know, if you go on Wikipedia and you look up albums for 2025, metal records for 2025, it gives you a list of what's actually coming out date wise, you know, and then where it cuts off, and it has like bands that have stuff in production but no release dates. We know LA Guns is coming out with a new record this year called Leopard Skin. I got to hear a track from that, which is really kick-ass so far. And Mayhem, they got a new album coming out, I guess. Megadeth has got something in the works. Testament and Wasp. So I'm hoping that maybe Wasp finally got something coming out, maybe a new record. Be interesting to hear what they sound like on records. Their last album is Golgotha, Golgotha, which is a very good record. You know, very message of biblical stuff going on there. Coroner, classic thrash band, progressive metal band. They got something in the works, so it's good to see them coming back. Anthrax, Black Braid, H. Frehley, obviously, with Volume 3. Armored Saints got something in the works. So yeah, so a lot of good stuff in 2025. I want to thank you for joining me on this. I do this every year, and the reason why I do it is to sort of like, it's a hobby of mine. I'm not looking to like make a lot of money at doing these videos or anything like that. I'm doing for my own personal therapeutic soul to stay healing. I'm an addict in recovery. I just celebrated 13 years sobriety, and this keeps me. Music saved my life. Music keeps me going. And you know, I'm an alcohol and drug counselor, so that keeps me going as well, helping people in situations that I used to be in, and hopefully get them to where I am now in their life. You know, so yeah. So I do this a lot, just to sort of raise awareness that, you know, when guys like Gene Simmons says stuff like, "Oh, rock is dead," he's just not looking. He doesn't know where to look, and obviously, like, come on, how can you say that when maybe Kiss is dead as far as rock? You don't really know a whole lot about Kiss after they retired. It's like, you know, we're still waiting for those avatars to come back in 2027. If I'll even be here by then, but who knows? We're not promised tomorrow. But if we do get tomorrow, make sure you check out those avatars by Kiss. But no, rock ain't dead. I mean, there's so much shit out there, man. You know what it is? It's the internet's just flooded with this bands. There's so many bands, and And it's the beauty of it now is that you get to go out there and look for stuff. Maybe hopefully I turned you on to something that, by watching this, maybe you got you turned on to something that you didn't even know existed. You probably think like, what? Bruce Dickinson has a solo album? I'm an Iron Maiden fan, but I had no idea, or what, Judas Priest, they still put out records? It's like, yeah, these guys are in their 60s and 70s and still put out good quality music. And maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you thought they were dead, like maybe you listen to Gene Simmons too much. But no, this shit's still out there. You just get on YouTube. Here's how you look for new music. Go on YouTube, type in one of your favorite bands and just check out their video or whatever. Then you're going to get suggestions. And you're going to see on your sidebar, you're going to get suggestions of bands that are similar. You'll probably do this on your Spotify, your iTunes as well. And you'll get suggestions. And then just look at something and just let the thing call you. Let the album art or the song title or the band name call you to click on it. Say, hey, come here. You like the way I look? Come here, click on me. Just give me a shot. What do you got to lose? You either like it or you don't. So you click on it. And if you like it, you like it. Like I'll find stuff that I like and I was like, damn, this is really good. I'm going to see if they have a vinyl or a CD or a cassette, and I'll look for that. Then I'll go buy it, I could, I don't mind streaming music, but that's just, you're missing something when you can just hold it in your hand. You can just smell it, rub it, make love to it. And yeah, so get out there and get you some new music, because again, it's not dead. And the beauty about owning your own music too, whether CD, vinyl, or cassette, is that if it ever comes off streaming, because a lot of times catalogs, get bought out or get sold, and sometimes they have to take albums off. Like there's a lot of there's some Wasp albums, Still Not Black Enough or whatever, that I would like to stream just to see what it sounds like. I haven't heard that album before. It's not on there because of record label mumbo jumbo legal shit. So I went and bought the CD. And that CD is mine forever. Now no one can ever take that CD away from me. So you keep the music for yourself. And yeah, we're running short on time. I was going to show you some of the toys I got, through the year, but I don't want to just go over 2 hours. I can give you an idea. Like I got, Iron Maiden Eddie dolls, in the Funko, the new Funkos that just came out. There's one with the it's kind of a bigger one. I didn't expect it to be big, but it's a Future Past Tour Eddie. And then I got the Power Slave Eddie on Funko. And then also got, I got this one right here. Senjutsu Eddie. So yeah, so matter of fact, I think I got 2 of these by accident. But yeah, so got some cool stuff. Oh yeah, and I got a King Diamond action figure, which came out from the Super 7. From if you go on the Super 7 website, got King Diamond. So yeah, so a lot of good stuff for 2024 that happened. I kind of have it up there with 1984. There were such good albums came out in 1984, like my favorite year in metal. 40 years later, this is a big year for metal. I mean, it was a big year. A lot of good stuff came out. So drop in the comments. Give me your list. Tell me what turned you on, what turned you off this year or this last year. And what are you looking forward to in 2025? What bands and albums are you looking forward to? Turn me on to something new. I always like being turned on to stuff. I get turned on by you guys a lot. That sounded kind of wrong, but I get turned on by stuff. I get turned on to stuff by you guys a lot when you suggest things in the comments. Yeah, my dirty brain. Anyway, I want to say Happy New Year. Goodbye 2024. Hello 2025 and beyond. Make this year live a kinder pace with yourself. What I mean by that is try to live more mindful and peaceful, and try not to be so hard on yourself about things, and just try to take one day at a time, one day closer to your where you want to be in life. And because like I said, every choice we make will either put you one step ahead or 2 giant steps back. So just think about that. Every choice you make, right, left, up, down, backward, forward, it's going to either put you ahead or it's going to put you behind. Every waking moment and every choice you make will either put you ahead or put you behind. So, it's all about just thinking about what you're going to do. And yeah, and also be kind to yourself, because if you're not kind to yourself and you're not good to yourself, you're no good to anyone else. So on that note, I want to say horns up and peace out. Yeah. Where's that button at? I still can't find a button after all these years. Where's that damn pause button? Oh, there.